Great opportunity now to catch up with the most recent signing for Austin FC. You have seen him in Major League Soccer with the likes of the New York Red Bulls, Vancouver, DC United. He comes to us here today for this interview, fresh to Austin. He is Felipe Martins, the Brazilian, and he joins us now. Felipe, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, all the listeners. Thank you, Glenn, for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here talking to you guys. And let's get going.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so look, you're known as a very hard-nosed midfielder. You've kicked a few people in your day. You're tough. It's an important role, but you're also a very, very good footballer as well. The tough guy image, is that something that develops during your career? Is that something you were innately born with? Or, is that something coaches are saying, hey, look, you got to be the guy that's sending a little bit of a message in a midfield?
I think being tough, you learn to be tough, but I think you need to have that inside. When you come from nothing and you always had to grind through your life and you had to work so hard to get something, you are proud of the work you do. And every time you on the field is just another opportunity to show what you're about, but you always need to remember where you come from and how you get there. And the way I got there, it's hard work and working harder than anybody else. And I want to make sure that everybody that play against me knows that they're gonna have a hell of a day, because I'm gonna win my battle against them, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm always there for my teammates. And that's the best way for me to express myself on the field, is being the way I am, because I don't know any other way how to do it.
Felipe, you tipped us off there. You said you came from nothing. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing, because I think that's important for fans to understand, because you come from a great soccer playing country. You've had an extensive career. You've had opportunities in a variety of places. It's pretty remarkable. Tell us about your upbringing.
I think, I left my house when I was 10 years old. I left my house with only a dream and nothing concrete that I would ever get to be a soccer player. But one thing that I promised my parents is that I always would give everything. And that's what I've done my whole life. At 15 years old, I was in Italy, in a country that I didn't speak any language. And I had to find a way to survive throughout my life. When you are with older kids, when you are close to the favelas, when you are in dangerous places, you understand and you learn those instincts, how to do to don't live but to survive, how you make sure that you're always going to get things done, and at the same time to protect yourself against harm ways. And even with in teams, you're always gonna, when you're coming out in as a young kid, you're always gonna have somebody that wants to be better than you, but you need to protect yourself, and you need to be respected also, and you need to act in a certain ways to be respected. And that's how I've learned all my life, to how to adapt to situations, but how to make sure that I'm respected and people respect the work I do. And I take this very serious, and that's my job. And that's the way I've learned to live my life, intense as possible. And when I'm on the field, you always need to understand that could be the last time. So you need to give everything.
Felipe, talk about that fine line between being competitive with your teammates, right? Because I know you're not going to be content not to be playing. You're not coming to Austin FC not to play. But there has to be that level of respect also for your teammates, even though you're competing to the guy sitting next to you, maybe for playing time.
I think, like the way I talk to the players in here is that every training, when we are on the starting level, we need to keep your job. When you are on the starting level, you need to work harder to get to the other side. So the players on the other side need to understand that they have someone behind them that is ready to play, is ready to compete, and gonna train even harder every day to show that you can play. And when you have the opportunity, you need to show up and be there and be ready to show your value. So I think creating those competitiveness in training sessions, it's always gonna bring the level higher to the team. And that's the most important. You need to have respect, but on a 50-50, know that they're going to win it. You are my opponent on that. So come hard because I'm gonna go hard. And then after the field is we are friends as us, but in there we are competing for something, and I expect them to come hard on me because I tell you what, I'm gonna go hard on you. So it's they know that we are competing for a spot, but always with the most respectful way possible, because in the end of the day we are teammates, and you need to always be not go over the line, and that's the most important. And they know that how much I respect each teammates, and they know that if they need me, I will always going to be there to support them, either I'm playing or not. I always the same. I'm going to be as competitive I am if I'm playing or not, because I believe that no one and nobody's above the team, and the team is the most important in the end of the day.
Felipe, I love talking to veterans like yourself because nobody can advance time. Your lens, you've experienced more as a player than a 21 or a 22-year-old. That's just fact. You can't change that except through time. So I'm going to look at you, and you and me are doing this via Zoom for those who listen in on the radio tonight. But I'm sure you're going to maybe slightly smile when I say, look, when we're inside professional soccer teams, it's like a family, and it's not always nice. And I'm sure you've had problems with players internally on teams that you've had to work out based on your competitiveness and everybody's desire to be a starting player.
I think it's as I said to you, even family have problems, and it's inevitable that at some points every team has a problem. But how you stick together on those tough moments, it makes you stronger. It makes you better. So it's a competitive environment. You need to be competitive, and if you're not competing, I'm gonna make sure that you compete, because you should be competing. You shouldn't be just happy to not be playing, and that's how you bring the level of the team higher, and being competitive and being hard with your teammates when you need to be hard, but always soft when you need to be soft. There's a balance that you need to find, because everyone has a different backgrounds, everyone has a different growing up way. So you just need to find the balance. You understand what's the person that you're dealing with and what those person needs. But in the end of the day, the most important is that you always there for your teammates, and he knows that he can rely on you and he can trust you.
Felipe Martins joining us. 10 years in Major League Soccer, Montreal, New York, Vancouver, DC United, 283 MLS appearances, if I'm correct here. Was a Supporter Shield winner with the New York Red Bulls. Also played at Lugano in Switzerland. It's a pretty impressive history. Now, you have Italian heritage, because in your long Brazilian name, which you love to confuse Americans, we just call you Felipe. But I see, is it Campanoli in there?
Yes, and funny about it is that my wife is Italian. My wife is Italian. We go to Italy every year. She's from Padova, in the north of Venice, where I start playing. And yes, I didn't meet those parents that were Italian, but now I speak Italian at home, and my wife is Italian, so I have a big respect and love for that country.
Incredible. He's we're going to call him Felipe. We're going to go easy there on the Italian name, but it's a great story. And he did play at Padova for a short amount of time. Why was the Italy thing cut short? Because I know you were over there. I know you got games with them. Tell me a little bit about that.
I think just I went to a great club in Lugano, which is Italian honors. At that time they had a big project. I was in Bournemouth. I supposed to be signing with Bournemouth in England, yes. But then I chose to go to Lugano. You can see that like I always stay 3 years maximum at clubs, because I think you go there to do a job, to win, and to learn, and then you go to the next club. When you're young, you think that way, but now I want to. This was a big opportunity for me to come here to a club that is new in the league. Last year, unfortunately, we didn't make the playoffs, but we're gonna succeed this year. I'm telling you. Uh, Starting on Saturday against Houston, especially in this state, we're gonna make sure that our colors are up there, and we will represent this city because they deserve much more.
Felipe, talk to me a little bit. Listen, we know why you're being brought there. Excellent player, experience, for all the things you've been saying to me. We don't need to repeat them. You're going to push people. You're going to want to be a starter, all the things. This could be a real X factor for Austin FC. When I saw you were signing for them, I was like, wow, okay, now this is something. There's more depth, there's more competition. I know the type of guy you are. You're not sitting back for anything. So what are the conversations you've had with Josh Wolf before signing there? You know, what did he say to you? Here's what I want, Felipe. Did he define a role for you? Did he leave the role open? Take the Austin FC fans, the MLS fans, the Houston fans, myself into that.
I think a role of a coach is to make always the best decision for the team, you know. And me and Josh, we didn't had a deep conversation because when I play, I don't gonna ask why I play. When I don't play, I also don't gonna ask why I play because I know he's doing that decision for the best of the team. And you're always gonna respect that. You know, the only thing he knows me very well. He knows what I can bring to the team, and I think the training gonna speak louder than anything. And my role, I understand that I'm a natural leader, and my role, I know that it's just to help players get better, help in any way on the field and off the field. But there's not a set role. I'm here to compete. I'm here to win. I'm here to do the best for the team. And whatever happens, I always gonna respect the decisions of the coach because he's the boss. And my job is just to make as hard as possible for him to make a decision. And that's what I'm doing in every training and every game.
You mentioned the Houston game. You know, I know you've been there a limited amount of time. How many training sessions have you gotten in so far?
Probably 10, 11 training sessions from that. Yes, and I had the opportunity to play 2 45 minutes against Louisville and today against Toronto. But you know, it takes time to get the the clear way that they want to play. Is a different of the style that I've played before, but I'm gonna adapt as quick as possible and always be ready for if I'm calling upon.
What's the difference in the way you've been playing in the past to now? Is there some different things that are being asked of you personally, positionally, that kind of thing?
Yes, you know, if you look at Red Bulls, they were playing very aggressive, high press. You know, like in DC was more of a mid block, low block. Last year, obviously, was a pressing team. You know, in here is a very ball possession team. You know, there's a clear way, clear principles that we want to do things, and you need to make sure that you do your job. And to do your job the best way possible is understand the movements, understand the players, and create those relationships. You know, to create a relationship takes time. You know, before I got married, I had to stay a long time with my wife to understand her. You know, it's the same thing.
You could be a marriage counselor too. You know, I mean, you know, one day maybe you're going to be a marriage counselor. Who knows?
And who knows? You never know.
You're a born leader. You know, you're a relationship builder. I love it. You could do it. I can tell you can do it. Last thing before I let you go. You know, I look at your career and the environment you've been in, and I got to think you got to be pretty excited to be jumping and dropping into this environment in Austin. By the way, you earned it, obviously, but with this fan base and the amazing things that are going on and this amazing stadium and now you guys have to produce, right? I mean, it's time to win.
Yes, I think you know this club has a clear vision and a clear goal, which is to win. You know, in every day I'm here, I can see new things and the way we've been treating, and there's no excuse to don't succeed. I think you know it's we are new to the league. this is only the second year, but I think it's about time that we put our stamp on this league and we start to bring something special for this city. And I'm gonna be damn sure that we every time we step on the field, we represent the team the best way possible, and not only the scholars, but we represent also the fans. You know, we appreciate the way they do, and we carry ourselves in a way that represent this club on and off the field.
Fitness wise, how do you feel coming off the injury? You've gotten that all taken care of, clear?
Yeah, how good. Last year I was able to appear in the 27 games. You know, like I feel pretty good. I work very hard to be in a position I'm now, and you know, I'm pretty confident I'm gonna have the best season yet in my career.
Felipe, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being so candid and really taking people into places, you know, that sometimes we don't think about, you know, that are not as obvious. We thank you for that. Best of luck in Austin. And I would love to have you on again in the future. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me anytime you need. I'm here. We can always talk about relationship counseling also. So I'm here for anything. I always adapt to the situation. Thank you, guys.
Felipe, thank you so much. And best of luck in Austin. That was Felipe Martins. We're going to call him Felipe. Big signing for Austin FC. Adds to that club up there. And he will be in town here in Houston this weekend as Houston will take on Austin FC Dynamo. That will be at 6 o'clock at PNC Stadium. And probably another game that will continue to slowly build a kind of a rivalry. We'll take a break. The break is brought to you by Advantage BMW Midtown.